Hello and good evening, everyone. I am Jaswinder Bakshi, Treasurer and Convener of Finance Panel and Head of the Construction Equipment Finance Division in Tata Capital Financial Services Limited. And it's my privilege to welcome the esteemed panelists from the industry and guest speakers from SIDBI, Mr. Vivek Malhotra and Mr. Anand Srivastava. I also welcome all the participants who represent the dealer and vendor fraternity of the member OEMs. ICEMA is a strong 71 member organization of the construction equipment manufacturers, financiers, and component manufacturers. It has become a credible voice in the government and industry circles and has been working towards voicing and addressing the industry concerns to the relevant departments, whether it is emission, safety, or finance related matters. As we battle the corona crisis, a recurrent theme of discussion is that of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and MSMEs will be the innate driver of this mission. Ever since its inception, SIDBI has been a growth catalyst and driver for MSMEs through its financing, promotion, development, coordination activities, and they're working uh, and they're very critical as we move forward towards unlocking the value of the domestic businesses. A need was felt by the OEMs to support their vendors and dealer partners, which are mostly MSMEs, in disseminating the knowledge of the government's initiatives, particularly SIDBI, and therefore we envisioned this exclusive session with senior officials of SIDBI. SIDBI was set up as a special initiative by Government of India in 1989 by a special act of parliament. SIDBI commenced its operations on April 2nd, 1990 with its head offices in Lucknow. It is the apex institution which oversees, coordinates, and further strengthens various arrangements for providing financial and non-financial assistance to small-scale, tiny, and cottage industries. So their products include direct financing, bill financing, refinancing, international finance, promotional development activities, FD schemes, technology upgradation schemes, venture capital funds, seed money schemes, national equity fund schemes. So it is my hope that today's dialogue about empowering MSME's role of SIDBI will help every stakeholder here to develop a better understanding of SIDBI's activities and how we can all align our operations and come together to create more value for the MSMEs, particularly in the difficult times. We will also have a small presentation from Mr. Anand Srivastava from SIDBI on various schemes that are offered by SIDBI. So I'm glad to welcome all the panelists. I welcome Mr. Malhotra, Head of Direct Credit Vertical SIDBI, Mr. Anand P. Srivastava, General Manager SIDBI, Mr. Subramaniam A. Raghavan, Executive Director, Finance and Company Secretary, Schwingstater India Private Limited, who will be moderating the session. Mr. Rajesh Goyal, Managing Director of Ferrum Extreme Engineering Private Limited. They are the major fabrication vendors to the OEMs like Volvo, Tata Hitachi, Kobelco, Mitsubishi, etc. Mr. Vijendra Bhatt he's the managing director of Anugrah Constructions. He's the dealer for L&T, Mahindra and Mahindra, Atlas Copco, Epiroc, Kion for Karnataka state. They also have a LED manufacturing unit for a long time. Mr. Mohan Hemasinka is the managing director of Shankar Equipment and Moria Motors. Is the distributor of Tata Hitachi and Tata Motors. I would like to thank the session sponsors, Signing India and Escort Construction Equipment, along with our associate sponsors, ACE, Puzolona, Tata Capital, for making this confluence of the industry what is possible. So without taking much further time, I would hand over the baton over to you, Mr. Subramaniam, all yours.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and a warm welcome to Mr. Vivek Malhotra and Mr. Anand P. Srivastava from SIDBI for having consented to join this webinar and really have an meaningful interactive session with all the stakeholders and really find out, where we can do the best to see that the industry looks up very fast after this pandemic or during the pandemic as well. So what I would like to say is that, despite all the announcements that the government has made on the concessions and what sort of facilities that has to be extended to various MSMEs, but still we regretfully note that the fund does not seem to reach the proper user And the reason could be various reasons. During the session, I would like to see that SIDBI also gives out some of their views of what could be done to see that the funds are really reaching the right person who deserve it. And basically, the MSME stress was enhanced in the last few years, more because to see that the sustainability of small timers and entrepreneurial capacity of those guys who don't seem to have the funds to really come up. They are encouraged in a better way for self-sustainability. That is the reason why the stress has been enhanced on MSMEs now. And with the current new legislations that has come up to cope up with the problem that we are facing today, rightfully the MSME scope has been enhanced substantially to cover investment for micro less than 1 crore and a turnover of less than 5 crores, and small industries to less than 10 crores and turnover of less than 50 crores, and medium investment less than 20 crores and a turnover of less than 100 crores. And this is a very, very good initiative that the government has taken to see that more coverage is given, to see that more MSMEs or more enterprises are classified as MSMEs. And moreover, the other schemes like NCGTC and then CGTMC, and CGTMC, of course, it is partnered with the SIDBI as well. There is a lot of enhancement that has happened by sanctioning something like 3 lakh crores for seeing that the MSMEs are funded in the right way. But unfortunately, as one of the OEMs, what we are experiencing is that the fund does not seem to reach the right person in the time of need. What the gut feeling that we have is that still the bankers are worried about the credibility of the exposures that they are going to take, despite all the counter guarantees that are being assured through various agencies, through various banks. But still, banks don't seem to come forward with an open idea as to, okay, I am ready. Okay, I am funding this. But that does not seem to open up. There are various reasons which, we are not able to really comprehend what could be the reason. I have a very strong feeling that it is only because, the fear psychosis of, some loans going bad and things like that. How that mentality has to be changed among the various lenders is something that we have to really address, and I think SIDBI can really put in their efforts and give some value addition to the entire group of panelists and the other visitors to this webinar, and tell them what is really their mindset in that, and why is it so happening that the economy does not seem to look up despite all the incentives that have been handed over. And the thing is that, especially, when it comes to MSMEs, it also helps the other large-scale industries, to source so many things from MSMEs. And at the same time, their payment terms are also being monitored by the legislations restricting the credit period to 45 days. And that way, MSMEs are also very much benefited in that. But still, things don't seem to happen the way it should. I'm not able to say anything as to what could be the reason why it is happening. And I need the entire panelists, and is there any other fear that is really happening, or that is really, bugging them to enhance this facility and extend the facility to all the MSMEs? So that the economy shows up very fast. Despite all these facilities, we are finding it very difficult. I now throw open to the other panelists to find out what could be the real reason, and if there is any other idea that can come through that can fructify into reality and throw up the economy further.
I think we should start with Mr. Mohan Imansika, who is the dealer of Tata Hitachi as well as Tata Motors. So we would like to hear, Mr. Mohan, what are your views on or your expectations, actually, one from the government and another from, say, the institutions like SIDBI or other financiers to overcome the present COVID crisis, as well as, as well as overall development of the MSME space? Yeah,
Yeah,
Mohan.
thank you very much. Uh, I'm a dealer of Tata Hitachi since last 20 years and had been looking after the dealership hands-on, meeting my customers every day, and I understand their pain. Frankly, as a dealer, we are very important to the whole ecosystem where financiers are involved, customers are involved, OEMs are also there, and the dealers are also there. I personally feel that in the whole episode, because of this COVID and otherwise also, dealers are the most suffering lot at this moment because of very thin margin. Our break-even point is around, say, you can say 75 to 80% of the turnover, which is virtually very difficult to have in this year, where we find that already 4 months have gone. So government has come up with the support system for MSME, but again, I find that really it is not fructifying on the grounds. Say, SIDBI is there since so many years, but as a dealer, we never realized that it could be of any help to us. There is a communication gap or the knowledge gap, you can say. As a dealer, most of us never felt that SIDBI could be of great use to us. As a dealer, I find that, say, we have to ensure that during this period, our neck is above water. And in the whole ecosystem, financiers are the most important entity who can ensure that dealers are at least having their head above water. So what I would expect from them, that inventory funding cost for the dealer should be still reduced, should be further reduced. They should also come up with many more finance schemes for the ultimate customers. In India, I find that used machine market is at an infant stage. I would expect that SIDBI should grab this opportunity and start financing used machines. Secondly, I find that in European countries, am I audible? Uh,
Yeah.
in
Yes, yes, yes,
in
yes.
European or countries or developed market, rental business is pretty developed. In India, hardly we sell 2 or 3 machines out of 100 machines to a rental company. In fact, if they get finance or end-to-end finance, if they have entered into an agreement with, say, L&T, and there is a finance company who is prepared to give them finance of rent for, say, 100 months, 50 months, 60 months, the rental company's capability to purchase machines will improve immediately, and they will have working capital also. So I personally feel that this is the time when financiers have to, bankers and NBFC and SIDBI will have to derive such a wonderful program for rental companies, for financing of used machines, and also to financing of dealers.
Yeah.
And
So,
if the costs of dealers are not reduced, particularly for creating an inventory, I personally find that it will be very, very difficult and challenging year for dealers this year and next year also. So this is my take, that dealers should be supported by OEMs as well as by financiers. And as the SIDBI is dedicated for MSME, we look forward for wonderful schemes from SIDBI.
Sure. I think Mohanji, you have raised a very, very valid point. In fact, so as you said, there is a less knowledge of SIDBI amongst our, the construction equipment manufacturers, OEMs, dealers, financiers. So I think there is a need for SIDBI to market themselves in this category. So we would like to understand from, say, Anandji, that, what are all the specific products we have for one, of course, for dealers, as Mr. Mohanji said, and do we have any special product for used equipment financing or rental machinery financing, basically? Yeah, Mr. Anand Srivastava.
Up with these schemes which are very, very borrower friendly and which focus on the huge machinery financing segment that seems to be unattended as of now, as Mr. Mohan put it. As far as this question of financing dealers is concerned, I think we have a technical issue here because SIDBI can finance only MSMEs, and the definition of MSMEs, as we will see later in our presentation, does not include dealers. It's limited to manufacturing or service enterprises, and it is governed by a definition. So naturally, there is a gap between the market expectations and what we are offering. Having said that, it's probably a misconception that SIDBI is not active in the space of machinery finance. One thing we should note that SIDBI is not primarily a direct financing organization. SIDBI is primarily a refinancing institution, as the role given to it by the various stakeholders. And though our core focus remains on financing MSMEs and development of MSMEs, but the business model is such that 90%, approximately of 90% is our indirect finance business, and only 10% is the direct finance business. So naturally, we cannot reach out to every MSME in the country directly. So we follow the indirect finance model more. But it doesn't, and it shouldn't prevent us from experimenting with certain financing models, which could inspire banks to come up with various schemes. Alone, we can't reach all of you, but through the banks, our extended arms, we can reach the market. And SIDBI has been playing this role quite effectively in the past. You would remember that there was no reverse factoring scheme earlier, and SIDBI came out with our reverse bill discounting scheme through corporates, which benefited MSMEs. And later on, all the major banks started utilizing that scheme. And it's running effectively now. On the other side, we had initially launched our term loan products. And later on, we also realized that the equity finance market in the country was not developed. So we came out with the scheme called subordinated debt, which is actually a debt having equity kind of features. The subordinated debt scheme was another example of SIDBI's innovation in the field of financing MSMEs. So the point I was trying to make is SIDBI has been endeavoring earlier also to come up with the schemes which have a demonstrative effect on the banking industry, and banks take up those schemes. But before that, we have to actually demonstrate that yes, this works. And the same kind of attempt is now being made in the machinery financing sector. As we go through our presentation, we would know. So that's where we stand at present. And as we go along in the session, we will elaborate more on this.
Yeah, Anandji, as a financial institution, we are also a beneficiary of various SIDBI schemes, because our end customers being MSME, so we take a lot of refinancing from SIDBI. We also use your interest subvention schemes as well as direct financing to our customers. All those schemes actually we try to use your organization's help. And thanks for that. And Certainly, as you said, you are presently not directly into dealer, financing the dealers because of the definition, and you are open to experiment as we go along, as you have done in past. I think it serves the purpose. Yeah. So going to say Mr. Goel, Mr. Goel, can you give your views on the vendor community? Basically, what are the needs as on today of the vendor community, and how say institution like SIDBI can support.
Thank you very much, sir. And basically, with regard to the SIDBI and the financial institutions, I'd like to highlight few things on our from our industry point of view. Our industry mainly is very capital intensive industry. I'm talking as a vendor and a component supplier. So we feel that there should be more flexibility in the changes of when SIDBI gives or any financial institution gives us the loan. There should be flexibility in changing the machines with the change in the time. Sometimes we have taken a loan from SIDBI or any institution, and then this loan, and we have decided to take this particular set of machines and set of investments. So there should be some flexibility on changing those demands, because sometimes we have some customer and we have another customer, or there's a change in the market demand. So we like to probably the change in the machine also. This is the one point from my side, and this will also help us rationally to invest our money. And the second point, the investment should be once we generally take the loans from the financial institutions, so they are like fixed term. We have to invest in certain period of time. Okay, so I'd like to highlight here because of the changing or maybe the dynamic nature of our industry, lots of demand keeps on changing over a period of time. So there we should be able to use let's say part-wise investment. Something like that, and a longer period of the tenure, and basically longer period of for the return to the bankers. And now particularly our government has MSME, they have increased the limits and all that. So our industry, like a company like ours, is also beneficiary of that. Now we also fall in the category of MSME, and probably we'll get some benefit of the loans from MSE now. So this is the regarding banks, and something also I would like to highlight, like what the problems we are also facing as an industry, as a manufacturer in the current situation of the COVID situation, basically. So as an industry, we also should be very much ready technically to develop the products faster and with maintaining the quality levels. And in this change scenario, like earlier, our OEMs were very helpful to us. They will come to us. They will help us to like if you are facing any trouble during our manufacturing. Now, particularly because of the corona, so we cannot travel as often as earlier. So they cannot come to us for a personal help. So probably they will help us now digitally. They will help us through maybe like Zoom or some other software. So we, as an MSME, we should prefer digital communication methods now. We should should go into digital communication method. And also during this uncertain and the fluctuation is demand of our customers. The demand of our customers due to COVID-19, like today we can see that a lot of demand has decreased. So these are the market situations. So MSME agency, we should be ready to adopt these kind of changes in the demand by our customers. We should be able to address their concern. We should be able to supply them in time. And apart from, I can say in our industry, our customers are quite helpful on payment side to us.
Yeah. So I think you've raised some very, very valid points. Including, I'll start actually from your last point. That is the digitalization. If say Mr. Malhotra can guide us on, what are the steps that SIDBI is taking in terms of digitalizing their processes, and particularly in these times, we have come to know the importance of digitalization, and a lot of companies have actually changed their processes to meet the end customer's need. So has SIDBI done some changes in terms of their processing of loans, or so we would like to, the industry probably would like to know this, Mr. Malhotra.
Thank you, Mr. Bakshi. Thank you for having SIDBI as part of the panel and allowing us to put our views forward. I think if you permit me, I will first take general issues, then also address the specific question that you put, or how should I proceed? Okay, so when address the question of Mr. Mohan, I think our engagement with the construction equipment sector is very, very old. Actually, it is as old as SIDBI. If I recall correctly, in the year 1991, I had given a loan of 50 lakh rupees to one of the Calcutta-based fledgling NBFC, which is now a well-known name, and I am sure that everyone would be able to guess the name also. So, and that was purely for construction equipment, and they are very big financiers of construction equipment. So our association with construction equipment industry is that old, almost 30 years old, and it's not a direct association, because as Anandi said, we have a particular structure and a particular mandate. So, and it is through the route of NBFCs and banks for construction equipment industry, mainly through the route of NBFCs, and Tata Capital has also been a beneficiary of that. So it's a huge engagement, and if we were to accumulate the assistance which has gone into this sector, it would be, I suppose, in billions of dollars over the last 30 years. Second point, which was, yes, I understand that dealers are in some difficulty, but actually there is not that much need for the pessimism, and we have, this is the time when we are constantly in touch with our customers, our field offices, as well as our other stakeholders, to understand what is happening in the market, what is the ramp-up level, and how things are improving or not improving. So daily we get to hear that yes, things are normalizing, and people are finding ways and means to continue the business during this COVID crisis. And government also, I need not tell you that for construction sector there were 4 points in the Atmanirbhar package, where the concession periods have been extended across the board, and contract completion period also has been extended. RERA deadlines have been extended, TDS has been reduced. So all these steps will take some time to affect. Yes, we recognize that construction sector, the construction industry is the first one to be affected and last one to recover. So, anyone who is in this business recognizes this point. Like banks know that they are the first ones to be affected in a downturn and last ones to come out of it. So, I think all of us prepare accordingly. But I see optimism. Today we were on a call with our Hyderabad regional offices and branches under it, which cover almost 5 states, including some of the industrialized states like Karnataka, Hyderabad, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh. I think things are very much back on track, and things are under the control. Under control, or they would improve with passage of time. Coming to the specific question of digitalization, I think it's the perfect question to be asked to SIDBI. Because 1 year ago, what we decided is that other than very small loans, about which Anandji will talk about those small loans, we will not accept any applications on paper. So all loan applications, we said we are not going to accept it on paper. So last 1 year, we have been accepting all our applications through a digital format only. The link is available on our website, and you go there, you click the link, you have to input the details, the usual stuff. You get an OTP, and then using that OTP, you can lodge your application. And the good part is that that application, the information documents required for the application, you can either put in scanned format, or if like balance sheets and other things are a little too long and scan is becoming big, so that you can tender in person at our office also. But all applications are now mandatorily accepted to digital format. And the information which is captured in our in the front end, which the customer gets to see, then that flows into our result software, and that appraisal software. Then the officers don't have to feed in the information once again. That's another productivity improvement that has that has helped us. And we have, by this we have reduced our TAT for even our large size loans to 11 days. So that's our TAT. The moment we have divided the information to be sought from prospective entrepreneurs into two parts. One is mandatory information and the second is other information. So the clock starts from the date of your submission of mandatory information. And within 11 days, we have given sanction wherever we are comfortable with giving a sanction. And the schemes about which Anandji will talk, that I leave it for him to cover it, because that's even surprising. So that is what we have done. And insofar as digital interface during this documentation, during this period of COVID crisis, I mean, documentation is something which we have to do across the table. Somebody has to sign on a stamped document, and somebody has to put a signature, and somebody has to put a seal. And even now things are improved, but from March 23 till end of May, the country was in a complete lockdown. Treasuries was closed, everything was closed. So even during that period, we came across as a documentation methodology by which we were sending the fully prepared PDF documents across through email to our customers who were borrowing from us at that time. And they were then putting their signatures, scanning them back and sending it across to us, with the undertaking that as and when the lockdown is lifted, so they would come forward and execute the paper-based documents. So with this, all our branches were from work from home, and stamp papers were not there. But we have been able to do almost 200, 250 cases, and Anand will talk about the scheme, the specific scheme called SAFE, which was the major beneficiary of this. And Mr. Raghavan also had made the point about the benefit not reaching to MSMEs. So as I said, it takes a little bit time, but in this scheme, which is emergency credit line, which government has come out 3 lakh crores. The latest figures are that banks have sanctioned assistance worth 1.50 lakh crores. And draws are very often draws we cannot put in the accounts of the borrowers, because at the end of the day, they have to pay interest on it. And if they don't need money now, they should not draw the money now, and most of them will not draw the money now. They will draw the money when they need it for working capital, or when they need it for paying salaries or whatever expenditure it is. While disbursements are dependent upon the demand of the entrepreneurs, but sanctions, which was the basic responsibility of the banks, almost 40-45% of the sanctions have been done. So I think my message would be that based upon our field level feedback also, things are improving, and I'm sure that they would improve even further.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Malhotra, for a very detailed picture of SIDBI, as well as your initiatives to help the customers and digitalize your processes even in the Corona times. And thank you. And the best part I could see was you have defined the TAT as 11 days from the date the mandatory documents are given. I think this is a very welcome coming from a government agency. It's a very, very welcome thing that the customer knows in advance that his loan is going to be processed in 11 days. So and you have been disbursing even in the last quarter, and some of the FIs like us also took disbursements from you even in the lockdown situations. So yeah. So coming to Mr. Bhatt, Mr. Bhatt is the dealer of L&T, Mahindra & Mahindra, Atlas Copco, Epiroc, and he has the range of equipment, which he sells in the market is very, very huge. So we'd like to hear from him what are the challenges he's facing and or his customers are facing, and how the government or say SIDBI can support. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Bakshi, and good afternoon to everybody. See, the challenges are twofold. One, like Mr. Mohanji already explained, as a dealer, we have this severe financial crunch. Well, of course, we're very happy when the government announced that there would be a big benefit to us by means of the MSME loan. This MSME loan has not been forthcoming. While we have another industry where we got the loan very quickly, but as of date, my trading companies, which is mainly into workshops and servicing and also selling of the equipments, the loans are not coming forward. Now, after 2 months of waiting, when we were told that the loans would come, they're waiting for guidelines from the government. Now we're told that the threshold is 100 crores and not 250 crores as revised by the finance minister. Initially, they said the MSME definition was 100 crores turnover, apart from the other factors. And subsequently, it was increased to 250 crores. Now, despite that, they say that they have no clarity. And if your turnover is more than 100 crores, then you're not eligible for this loan. So this is one clarity I would require if Mr. Malhotra could give it, or Mr. Anand. And secondly, also I've heard that SIDBI also comes in with equity participation for industries. But can this also not be done for service industry, or we may be called as dealers? But again, if you look at the service that we do, 80% of our manpower is all around service, and maybe another 10% in the workshop. The sales which contributes very, very high to the turnover, but we are basically a service industry. Service is our first motto. So why can't we be considered now? And of course, we are all registered MSME because we are also service oriented. So whether this equity participation is eligible even for dealers, or is only restricted to manufacturers? And thirdly, when we say that we are in financial difficulties, what I see is that there are a lot of movement in the market. People are ready to buy the equipment because government is really pushing that, especially in the roads, irrigation projects. But we are told that they are not getting the finance for the equipment. The banks or the NBFCs are very, very reluctant to give loans to our customers because they feel that they may default. So I think our customers require help in the sense that the loans to them also should be as easy as given to any other MSME. Because if they don't buy from us, I mean, if you get a loan, we're only going to service the principal and the interest with nobody to buy. So these three are the basic concerns of mine. And I think the other concerns already has been shared by the other panelists. So if we could get some light on this, it will help a lot.
So, Mr. Bhatt.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mr. Malhotra, can we answer his concerns? Mainly on the one, of course, is the how the SIDBI can directly help the customers which are today in need, and particularly his point on the service industry. Whether there are products for service industry, particularly the equity products, as well as the whether the change of the norms of MSME norms have been effected practically on the ground or not. So this, I think, these are the major concerns, Mr. Bhatt. Yeah.
So, the first issue of that he not getting his facility from his bank, which first thing that if there is an MSME which is complying with the government, directive that turnover has to be within 100 crores and credit facilities up to 25 crores, they have to get their 20%. So it is as simple as that. They will get it. There will not be anything in that, whether they are MSME manufacturing or service sector. You should hold a valid Aadhaar number, which is also available for service sector enterprises. And there is an MSME Champions portal, which is being run by the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, where you can lodge your grievance and then it flows through the system. And I've seen that they're very, sort of fast in following up with the other stakeholders to get this, information. Second issue is that whether the SIDBI participates into equity for other institutions. I think we follow a fund-of-fund strategy, and very often where we contribute to funds, and then they have to invest in different companies. So that is our strategy which we are following, and you would have to get in touch with the relevant private equity funds. The only this thing is that equity investors normally look for the growth story. So unless you have a good growth story, it's not very advisable to go in for equity funding, because then the problems start, because they would look for growth and you would not have a business model. So for equity, you have to have a growth story and a slightly different business model. So if you have that, I think equity should be available for there. Should be there. Please do your homework before going in for equity. That's my advice.
Also, on the question of an entrepreneur not getting funding, even though it's at MSME, having a turnover within 250 crore, whereas the bank says that it can fund only up to 100 crore. So I think the reason we can understand very well. See, what has happened is the definition of medium has been revised upwards to 50 crore investment in plant and machinery, up to 250 crores of turnover. So if these two conditions are met, it is classified as a medium industry. But the thing to note is that the government's scheme of 3 lakh crore, under which automatic loans are being given by the banks, that scheme is guaranteed by NCGTC. And NCGTC's credit guarantee scheme, which is a 100% guarantee, covers only units having a turnover up to 100 crore. Probably that's the reason the banks would be saying that they will cover cases only up to 100 crore.
Yeah. Thanks for clarifying, Anandji, because there is a confusion amongst the customers because of this, because the MSE definition has been changed, but this GECL or the emergency fund scheme is basically limited to the people who have either total loan less than 25 crores and turnover of 100 crores or less. So there is there was confusion because they came at a parallel. Both the announcement came at almost at a parallel time. So thank you for clarifying. Yeah. So from my side, from the financing community, basically, what are the steps like SIDBI has taken for supporting the NBFCs who are taking funds from you or directly the customers during these COVID times? What are the schemes that have been launched by SIDBI in these times?
For financing the NBFCs?
Yes.
Okay, so I can briefly touch upon that. Can we load the presentation from ICM's side? So I think everyone can see in the presentation now?
Yeah, we can. Yes.
All right. So let me touch upon briefly about SIDBI. I think it has already been said that SIDBI was established by an Act of Parliament in 1989, and in 1990 it started operations. It was set up as a DFI, Developmental Financial Institution, with the exclusive mandate of promotion, development, financing, and coordination of institutions engaged in the development of MSME sector. Also, we operate through 9 regional offices and 76 branches, which are mostly either in the state capitals or in the industrial clusters. Prime functions are refinance, direct finance, and other financial services through various subsidiaries and associates. We are also nodal agency for various government schemes. And if I have to highlight some key points, Rajan, you can come to the next slide. If you can highlight the key points in the government package which can benefit MSMEs the most, we can classify them into 6 parts. The first and most important was the change in definition, which brought many more MSMEs into the ambit of these guidelines. The second was the automatic loans scheme announced by the government, which was quantified at 3 lakh crore. The third was subordinated debt facility of 20,000 crore. The fourth was the special liquidity facility given to banks and financial institutions. Fifth was equity infusion, 50,000 crore. This was to come through fund of funds mechanism. And then there were some other schemes also. There were some other, initiatives also, which had to be passed on to the MSMEs. through various means, and they primarily focused on e-marketplace linkages for MSMEs, and then the solving the problem of MSME receivables, especially from government and central public sector enterprises, to be released in 45 days. So these are the basic structures under which the government tried to intervene in boosting the sector, especially the MSME sector. Now, coming to the first part, which is the definition. So I think all of you would notice now that the definition has taken another factor into account. Earlier, it was only exclusively based on investment in plant and machinery or equipment. Now, it also takes into account the turnover. And the investment limit in plant and machinery or equipment has also been increased. So a lot more MSMEs are now in the ambit from July 1, 2020. Coming to the next slide. This is how SIDBI responded to the government announcements. So about the automatic loan scheme, we launched Twarit, which is basically timely working capital assistance to revitalize industries in times of corona crisis. And there we have so far done sanctions of about 700 crore. These are direct sanctions, direct loans given to MSMEs. Then there was this announcement of 20,000 crore subordinated debt, and details were awaited in May when it was announced. On 24th of June, the Ministry of MSME has explained the guidelines related to it, and it's available to scheduled commercial banks. The basic idea behind this is the promoters of the NPA and stressed accounts will be given money in the form of equity so that they could infuse that money into their companies and revive those companies. So unlike the other schemes which are focusing on the standard accounts, this scheme is particularly for the NPA and stressed accounts. Anyone who was a standard in 2018 and later on became NPA or SMA2, this scheme covers them. And this will again this will be guaranteed by the government. Up to 90% guarantee will be available to banks when they fund the entrepreneurs under this scheme. The third is the special liquidity facility given by RBI for banks and NBFCs, which Mr. Jaswinder was talking about. So here the fund that has come to SIDBI is about 15,000 crore. And out of 15,000 crore, 60% is going through refinance to NBFCs and MFIs. And remaining 40% is going to refinance to banks and small finance banks. And then part of it is going for direct lending also. So out of this 9,000 crore refinance to NBFCs and MFIs, we have so far sanctioned nearly 4,000 crore, and the process is on. So our indirect finance vertical has especially designed schemes for banks and NBFCs, and under those schemes, appraisals are continuously going on. We have our 6 processing centers dedicated for this all across India, and work is in full swing in utilizing this amount. The remaining part of 40%, which is 6,000 crore, there also I think we have nearly exhausted the fund. We have covered about 5,700 crore, and the remaining will also be committed very, very soon. On the direct finance side, the part of it, we have spent about 220 crore so far, covering about 460 direct borrowers. And similarly, there is another, apart from Twarit, this is through another window called Liquid, which is liquidity support for MSMEs. And then the last point here is the equity infusion through MSME fund of funds. So here we are further awaiting the details. You must be knowing, and Mr. Malhotra also pointed out, that SIDBI runs a fund of fund scheme through which we provide equity funds to the private equity players who are supporting the MSME. So we contribute to their funds, and in turn they contribute to the they finance the MSMEs. Next. So this change we have already covered. So some details about Twarit, which is timely working capital assistance to revitalize industries. So you all may be knowing that the 3 lakh crore scheme of government, it covers the existing clients of all the banks and FIs. So similarly at SIDBI, this scheme was launched with the purpose to provide relief to existing MSME customers of SIDBI whose operations are impacted by COVID-19. The cutoff date here is 29th, and the aggregate exposure should be within 25 crore, as Mr. Jaswinder also pointed out. The advantage is that there is no promoter contribution and the interest rate is capped at 8.25%. There is no processing, there are no paid interest, there is no collateral demand. And the scheme will continue up to October 31. And by that time, I'm sure through other banks and the NBFCs, the amount of 3 lakh crore will get exhausted. So if there was any doubt about whether the government package is reaching to the industry or not reaching, Mr. Malhotra already pointed out that nearly 1.5 lakh crore has already been committed. So by October, I think the whole of 3 lakh crore will be spent. We're very sure about that. And same thing is expected to happen to the 20,000 crore subordinated debt for MSMEs, which is to be given to the entrepreneurs. So we are sure this is going to go in full swing and it's going to revitalize the industries. Next. This is the scheme of liquid, which is quite similar to Twarit, and the difference is basically it came before the government announced the 3 lakh crore package. So SIDBI was sensing that this problem is coming to the industry and liquidity support is needed. So we had gone to our board and the board had approved a scheme called Liquid for our direct finance customers, even before the government announced the Twarit scheme or the 3 lakh crore scheme. So here again, there is the cutoff date. The advantage under Liquid is it gives our customers options to go for a low rate interest structure. For example, if you can see the interest rate row, you will find that the interest rate is between 5.9 to 9.56 across different class of borrowers and periodicity of loans. Here again, there is no additional collateral. Any existing customer, we already have our security. The same security is sufficient to cover the loan. So customers have practically two options now. Either they can go to the government's 3 lakh crore scheme or they can come under Liquid, whichever way they fit in. Because both the schemes have certain restrictions. So this gives an additional option to the customers. Next. Mr. Malhotra pointed out that we had launched a scheme called SAFE on March 25th when lockdown was announced. SAFE was basically SIDBI assistance to facilitate emergency response against coronavirus. And this was an immediate response scheme to bring the relief to the industry, which was hit by the lockdown. And here the idea was to extend small loans at very low rate of interest with no collateral, with no prepayment premium, with no credit guarantee charges. Everything was to be borne by SIDBI itself. And the rate was also to be kept very low. So we had requested special funds from RBI, and RBI had given us funds. And without adding any special margin to this, we were able to extend loans at 5% interest rate to about 395 customers. So far, 174 crore has been fully committed, and we have applications for the remaining amount. So the scheme is practically over by now. But the important thing was that we could demonstrate to the banking industry that in difficult times, responses should also be aligned with the problem that we are facing. Two things stand out. One is, even in difficult times, we were able to sanction loans within 1.73 days on an average. And not only that, after the customers completed their part of bargain, they brought in their, they completed their documentation. So we were able to disburse in 1.56 days. So overall, if you see, the total time taken by SIDBI was 3 to 4 days in actually parting with the money and putting it into the customer's kitty. We also did a survey of about 190 customers after launching the scheme and after it has run for some time. And we found that the 76% customers were rated the scheme as excellent, 20% as good, and 4% as satisfactory. 24% people also reported that the product, their product was actually an import substitute, and the scheme was able to help them in actually, manufacturing the products within India. And similarly, most of the respondents, around 84%, reported that their average capacity had increased and revenue had grown by nearly 20%. 84% customers also acknowledged that the assistance helped in execution of orders more than 400 crore in those difficult times. I mentioned about two things which stand out. So one was what Mr. Malhotra, our country, had pointed out, that we were able to do e-documentation with all fully designed documents completed and sent to the customers through email. And this was subject to the condition that when the lockdown opens, you will come and sign. Normally, there is always an element of mistrust between a bank and a customer, but our experience has been quite different. And we found that the people who had executed their documents in an electronic mode, they actually came down whenever they could find time and whenever lockdown in their area was opened, and they came down to the branch and they signed the documents gladly, happily, and willingly. So that was an excellent feedback coming from the industry, and we were very pleased to see that response. Second thing which stood out was visits. This was an innovation which we experimented in these difficult times, because neither our officers were able to go to the industry and nor the customers were able to come and pick up anybody, because we were in different hot zones. So we decided to do e-visits, which basically meant that the promoter could switch on his WhatsApp video recording and show his unit around through a video. And that video could be recorded by SIDBI and could be kept as an evidence of visit. So this was a very, very novel experiment, and we were very happy with the results. And most of our loans, 395 loans under SAFE, have happened through this route. There were very few cases where actual physical visit was possible in those times. So these were the special features of SAFE. And along with SAFE, we had also launched a scheme called SAFE Plus, which was exclusively meant for government orders. So there were many MSMEs which were having a lot of government orders, but they were not able to execute them. So we gave them a revolving working capital facility. They could repay back the facility in 4 months, and they could draw again. So this also was part of the SAFE fund of 200 crore, and that was also very, very successful. Next. So we come to the schemes of SIDBI, key products of SIDBI. So far, whatever we have talked about were special responses. There were special situation schemes, whether we talk about Twarit, whether we talk about Liquid, or we talk about SAFE. There were special situation schemes. So these are our run-of-the-mill schemes, which are the key products of SIDBI. And we divide these schemes into two fundamental sections. One is the machinery finance schemes, and second is the project finance schemes. Project finance scheme, you all know that they involve acquisition of land, building, construction of shed, acquiring miscellaneous fixed assets, plant and machinery, technical know-how, all those things. So they constitute a complete project, and their appraisal takes time. So Mr. Malhotra was talking about the 11-day stat. So 11 days is actually an average of both these schemes, machinery finance schemes and project finance schemes. The project finance schemes average stat would be approximately 14 days, and the machinery finance side will be approximately 5 to 7 days. On an average, 11 days is the total stat at SIDBI. And this stat is actually counted from the date we get complete information, because without complete information, of course, you can't process a case. Coming to these schemes, SMILE and DCS are our two flagship schemes of project finance. Not much difference between them. The only thing which stands out in SMILE is focus on 25 Make in India sectors and a special concessional rate of interest. So in our direct finance schemes, while the rates would go near about 10%, in SMILE, our rates start from 7.3%. And these schemes are targeting the 25 Make in India sectors. Latest sector added to this group is the healthcare sector because of the COVID-19 crisis. Obviously, the project finance schemes involve some amount of collateral, and we don't have any standard norms of collateral. While in banking industry, collateral ranges from 25% to 200%. But in our scheme, we have only specified an asset coverage norm, which is 1.3 for existing customers and 1.4 for uh, fresh customers coming in. And this asset cover could be met by any means, whichever way you can do it. Yes, it always helps if a customer brings collateral. It always helps to improve his rating and thereby coverage under this scheme, because the rating rates for Smile are comparatively higher. The second part is the machinery finance part, where no collateral is demanded. And people often ask, if we are financing machinery and we are not taking collateral, how do we safeguard the interest of the bank? So here also a little bit of innovation has happened. What has happened is, when you go for financing to any bank, the bank would ask for a certain amount of promoter contribution, which ranges 25% to 33% normally. And apart from this, the banker would need some collateral security or credit guarantee cover, which would actually boost, which will actually increase its cost of finance. So we try to avoid credit guarantee cover here in our machinery finance schemes. And we told the customer that whatever contribution you are anyway supposed to bring from your side, let that contribution itself be pledged to us as collateral, and we will fund you 100%. So this way the customer is free from two things. One, he doesn't have to bring any property for getting the machinery finance. Secondly, doesn't have to bring any, doesn't have to bear any cost of credit guarantee, because credit guarantee is not required here. SIDBI takes that risk. So these three schemes, Speed Plus and Pratham, are basically designed around this philosophy. And what it basically does is, it improves the TAT substantially. For example, in Speed, which is a flagship flagship scheme for machinery financing, our TAT comes to 5.11 days from the date of application and 3.09 days from the date of complete information. The advantage is, since you're not taking any collateral, you're not taking any property, so you don't have to get any title searches done. You don't have to get any valuations done. These things consume time and delay the TAT. As soon as the customer is able to bring his contribution and pledge with you in the form of an FD or whatever, you're able to good to go and complete the appraisal very, very quickly. I have seen instances in my branches where they have completed appraisal of a case in 1.5 hours. That is the minimum we have seen. Of course, then you have to hold a committee meeting, you have to send notices, and you have to convene a meeting, and that might take a couple of days. But decision generally comes in 3 days in Speed scheme. Rajan, if you can go to the next slide. Here are some details about Speed. Speed is an acronym which explains as this: SIDBI loan for purchase of equipment for enterprises development. And this is for the existing MSMEs. Speed Plus and Pratham, all are for existing SMEs which are having some vintage. Customers which are completely new or which are not having 3-year vintage, they can come under other schemes which are Smile or DCS. But faster dispensation schemes like Speed Plus and Pratham, they are basically meant for existing MSMEs. So any new customer coming to us, we encourage him to apply under Speed, and the customers who buy standard OEM machines are generally covered here. Here, used and refurbished machines are not allowed, and I have noted with interest the suggestion from one of our members. I think it was Mr. Mohan who pointed out that second-hand machines and used machines should also be encouraged. So that's a point very well noted. So here we have tie-up basically with about 45 OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, and we finance machines manufactured by them under this scheme. The eligibility criteria has been kept very simple: 2 years cash profit, stable sales, satisfactory track record, no operating losses, and sanction and disbursement, as I said, is very, very fast. All we do is we have to conduct some standard civil CMR checks and do the due diligence, and then we are good to go. So this was about Speed, and Speed Plus is actually a variant of Speed for high-end machines, because Speed had a limit of 1 crore to 2 crore for new and existing customers. Here the limit is enhanced to 2 crore and 3 crore, because some machines itself are costing more than 1 crore. which was told by OEMs to us. So we brought this out. We also enhanced the filters for Speed Plus, because anyone who's having a minimum sale of 5 crore only can apply under Speed Plus, and then it can have 3 years cash profits. So on one side we enhanced the filters. On the other side, we brought the promoter contribution or cash collection norms a little lower. Under Speed Plus, we accept 15 to 30% cash collector, 15 to 30% margin that the customer has to bring. Application form with both these schemes is very, very simple. It's a one-page application form, attach the quotation and send to the bank. There is a list of MI, which is called the mandatory information. It's a small list of 8-9 points, and the customers can give all that information quickly and get the loan done. Next. So once we launched these two schemes, there was very good feedback, and some customers complained to us that your Speed and Speed Plus filters, even though you are giving us fast, the filters are so tough that some of us are not able to comply. They said, even if you take a couple of more days, take another week, but at least sanction us, sanction to those customers also who are not fitting into Speed and Speed Plus. So that prompted us to bring out another scheme called Pratham, which is priority assistance for MSMEs based on hybrid or alternate security model. Here also, we improved the margin norms a little more. We went for detailed appraisal, and the loans under Pratham are typically sanctioned in a period of 12 days, approximately on an average. So, but all the cases which are missed by Speed and Speed Plus can get covered here. Next. This is our flagship scheme called Smile, which is simply Make in India soft loan fund for MSMEs. So as I said before, this focuses on 25 Make in India sectors, healthcare being the latest addition. The important attraction here is that unlike the previous schemes, even greenfield units are also eligible here. And manufacturing is covered, service sector is covered. Even if you don't have any vintage, you are covered here. Soft loan is also given to boost your DER norm. Suppose our DER norm is 2.5, debt equity norm is 2.5, and you are having 2.6, then you can opt for a soft loan of maybe up to 20. And that will be counted from our side as equity, your contribution, and you will be able to meet the debt equity norm. And interest rate starts from 7.31%, and I think it goes up to, in my opinion, less than 9%, 8.68 or 8.9% approximately. There is a minimum loan size, yes, here. We don't fund cases less than 25 lakh, and we don't fund more than 75% of project cost. CGTMSE cover facility is also available here. Of course, that will add to the cost of the enterprise. And these loans cannot be used for repayment of earlier loans. I mean, in none of these schemes, we grant loans for repaying of the old loans. Next. So these were the schemes. Somebody in our earlier discussion mentioned about credit guarantee. So this is just a brief about the credit guarantee scheme. You all may be knowing that SEDBI and Ministry of MSME together have contributed to the corpus of CGTMSE. And just to tell you about some modifications CGTMSE did a couple of years back are helping the industry to make use of this scheme more and more. One important innovation was merging the annual service fee and the initial guarantee fee into one. So earlier there were two charges, 1% and then another was a similar percentage. Now both of them have been merged, and there is an annual guarantee fee structure defined, which you can see on the right side of the screen. So it starts from 1% and it keeps going down as the amount goes up. There are special dispensations for women entrepreneurs, micro entrepreneurs, loans above 50 lakh, below 50 lakh, and for retail trades. So these are the structures, financing structures for credit guarantee. And on the left side, you can see that the amount has been enhanced to 200 lakhs. And another important innovation is sometimes banks say, sometimes a customer says that I need a loan of 3 crore. So can you fund to me under guarantee program up to 200 lakhs, and remaining 1 crore, I can give you collateral, whatever collateral you need. So now that is possible. It's called a hybrid security model. So partial credit guarantee is also available to enterprises now. That's basically about CGTMSE. Next. Yes, so this was a brief about SIDBI's side about all these schemes.
Thanks a lot, sir. It was a very, very informative presentation and a very detailed presentation, and wherein you gave the details of all the schemes, and there were very, very interesting schemes, particularly the people who are into the sector which you are promoting. I think that will be very, very useful. There are several questions. I think we are now at 5:12 now. I think we have some questions already in the chat box and some questions we have received on mail. So we will, and any other questions that there, kindly put it on the chat box so that we can take in next 5-10 minutes. Sir, I'll just like to ask, one of the participants has asked, what about the imported assets? Are we funding imported assets or the machinery? Do we have LC, letter of credits or something?
Yeah, we are funding. We are funding. There's no bar on such funding.
Okay, and to what extent, like, do we include custom duty, etc., in the asset cost? We
do.
Okay.
Under our direct credit schemes, we are financing these. Only availability of foreign currency funds could be a restriction, because at times we have those funds, at times we don't have those funds. So it can be checked with the concerned branches whether we are having foreign currency funds for that.
So what we can actually do is that we can give you what Anand is saying, that we can give you a loan in rupees also, and we can give you a loan in foreign currency also, provided you have some foreign, provided you have some export income which is a natural hedge, or you agree to buy a hedge against that loan. So if you have only a domestic income, then we'll give you that loan in rupee. And if you have some export also, then we also have the capability to give you the loan in FC. Sometimes euro may be available, sometimes may not be available. So that individually at particular times it has to be checked.
So for Indian funding for imported asset, hedging is, do you make it compulsory, or it is the customer's risk basically he has to take?
Actually, our preference is that customer should have a natural hedge by way of import, by way of export proceeds, inward remittance. So that's our preference. Otherwise, he has to hedge. Sure.
So there is a question from Ms. Pooja Gupta that SIDBI has not been entertaining new customers. So why we've not been entertaining new customers at this time and only concentrating on existing customers?
To answer it briefly is, I'll just give you a statistic. Last year we sanctioned about 1,279 loans in under our scheme called SPEED and SPEED Plus together. And 80% of these loans went to new customers who were not dealing with us earlier. So it would be wrong to say that SIDBI is not entertaining new customers. There could be other problems, because even though schemes may be permitting a new customer, sometimes the customers get into non-acceptable grade, or their CMR rank is not within the range, or their CIBIL scores are not in the range, or after analysis, the rating is not coming to the investment grade rating. There could be certain issues, but SIDBI is quite open to funding new customers.
Sure. And Mr. Vivek Hujela, who is also part of our GC, has asked that how do we connect with SIDBI in case our dealer needs the loans?
So what I would suggest is, yes, Anand.
No, please carry on. I was just trying to get the question clarified.
So you connect with us, and then we would connect you with our branches about your dealers who are willing to connect with us, connect with our team, Rajan, Anand, myself, and what we can also do, Mr. Bakshi, after this meeting, we can whoever are the participants, we can also send them a short mailer about our schemes of assistance, so that they have this in front of them whenever they want it. Then we can also give them a response number where they can get back and sort of make further clarifications. So I can see at the peak that there were almost 173 participants. These 173 people, we can send our mailer and then they can get it.
Sure. And see, there is a question on mail which we have received that construction equipment market is it's a very, very huge market. It's about $7 billion market. It's a huge market, and if you leave alone, last few months and last year, we have been growing at 20-25%, and it's a very safe market because the repossessions are easy. The assets are having their telematics and can be repossessed, and the customers are also having some projects. That's why they are taking, and these are basically money generating machines. So why SIDBI can't look at financing directly the customers also? As of now, we understand that you are not into contractor financing, but there was a suggestion on the mail that why can't SIDBI look at financing the customers of the dealers and the OEMs here? It's just a suggestion. Yeah, maybe you'll have a.
So we are actually at the back of every equipment finance. Maybe we would. Out of every 10 equipment finance, my sense is that one would be backed by SIDBI. So at least that much size of the market we are having with us. Beyond that, it is a question of strategy that whether we have that wherewithal in terms of manpower and in terms of outreach. But when it comes to funds, we are always there, and we have been there for since the start of SIDBI, we have been there.
Sure. So there's a question from Mr. Kishan Agarwal. How and to what extent dealers who are registered under MSME can take advantage of being part of it? So basically the same question what Mr. Bhatt and Mr. Mohanji asked about, how the dealers can be benefited by SIDBI. Yeah.
Someone asking for some sort of a reach for SIDBI in Jammu region.
Yeah.
So yes, we have a representative in Jammu region. So it is not that we are not present. Jammu is a state capital, a very important thing for us. But in such states, our more focus is on working with state governments and taking their schemes forward or advising them that how they can better help MSMEs. Because we are a national level, we are an apex level financial institution. So that's more of our areas in these areas where we work with these state governments than being very visible in the financing market. So that we feel that has more multiplier effect than trying to do a few things.
Sure. So somebody, Mr. Agnivesh Kumar is asking whether we have a presence in UP to get a soft loan.
Yes, UP we have 5 branches. It is not that we don't have branches in UP.
So
we have a regional office in Lucknow. Our head office. We are speaking to you from Lucknow. Both myself and Anand are based out of Lucknow. So our head office is in Lucknow. So we are speaking from Lucknow.
It's on the eastern UP side, basically. Whether we are present in the.
We have an office in Banaras.
Varanasi, the eastern UP.
Okay. Yeah, so
and Prayagraj is also a small branch there, also in Prayag. Yeah.
Sure. So there are any subsidies in Mr. Hema Kumar Reddy is asking, is there any special subsidy scheme for non-MSMEs from SIDBI? If I have read the question right, 1 second.
Well, non-MSMEs, of course, SIDBI cannot fund because the whole charter of SIDBI and the whole act of SIDBI points to financing of only MSMEs. So I'm not sure what he means by non-MSME. But to answer in one line, we cannot fund anybody who is not an MSME.
Okay. And there is a question from Mr. Anand on the CMR rating. What should be the CMR rating in case we want to get finance from SIDBI?
So to the question of Mr. Anand, the answer from Mr. Anand is our CMR rating is CMR 1 to 6. That's the acceptable range.
Okay, 1 to 6 basically. So Mr. Anand, so total is 1 to 10 basically, and 1 to 6 as you're saying are the top ratings, and above 6 actually SIDBI is not financing.
Yeah. For us, those are non-investment grades.
Yeah. So there was one question on my WhatsApp that how do we qualify to be direct customers of SIDBI? I think you covered in that presentation, but maybe you'd like to answer this.
So there's no bar on any direct any new entrepreneur coming to SIDBI who is already running his enterprise successfully, make sure that you have at least 3 years vintage. You are having cash profits in your balance sheet. You're not into losses. Obviously, no bank would like to fund units which are in losses. So once you qualify with these basic parameters, the easiest way would be for you to first avail a small machinery finance loan. That way you will become an existing customer of SIDBI, and the doors will open to you for a lot of other schemes that SIDBI operates. So the fastest way is to avail assistance from SIDBI is to get an equipment loan. And of course, if you have bigger projects in hand, if you think you can implement those projects successfully, and you have the wherewithal, the management support, the technical knowledge, the qualification, you can of course set up a full project also right from the scratch.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mr. Kaustab, Soshi Shankar is asking that, like Mr. Bhatt said, they would like to know whether SIDBI would be interested in funding because in the service sector, particularly say dealers, as you answered earlier that SIDBI is not into that space, but can in future they look at entering into this space. Again, this is a big space for this industry particularly.
It is definitely a big space, and we have taken a clue from IFEMA, and I think our country head, Mr. Malhotra, would also agree that we can think of ways and means to be present in this.
Sure. Yeah, I think we can take a couple of questions if are there. Otherwise, we'll move to the closure. We targeted the 15:15 as our 17:15 as our target to close the session. So maybe in next 1 or 2 minutes we can have a couple of more questions. Yeah, so there is a suggestion from Mr. Kishan Agarwala that dealers are playing role dominantly in creating jobs. Is there any option to be eligible under these schemes? So same question basically, same question. So I think I think you have a lot of customers here, in this space, both dealers as well as
the contribution to economy is completely acknowledged, and we appreciate the role of dealers in the economic scenario. And I think this is something to be taken note of. But their contribution is fully acknowledged.
Sure. So there is one question that you mentioned about special OEMs where you have 45 types and you added some more also. So is it published on your website, these OEMs?
I don't think the list of OEMs is published on website because it will actually be of no use to anybody, because a person who is going to buy a machinery would first decide which machinery he is going to buy and then look for funding. He would not look for which machinery is getting funded under tie-up and then go for funding. So first he has to select his machine, and then he can check up with the concerned SIDBI branch whether that is covered. And the list is also very dynamic because relationships are for an year and they get renewed. So next year some OEM could be dropped, more OEMs could be added. So the best way is to ask the concerned branch about whether the OEM with which our borrower wants to buy a machine is covered by SIDBI or not.
There is a question from Mr. Rakshit Ratra, Tata Hitachi dealer in MP. He's asking, can he avail moratorium as well as CCLGS both? They have account with Axis Bank.
Yes, you can get both.
Okay. So there is no limitation that the people.
No, actually, everyone is taking both. So it's obvious that you can have the moratorium also of 6 months, which is expiring in August, as well as you can get the emergency credit funding.
But one more thing, my question here is that, in case somebody has opted for a moratorium based on the scheme that has been announced by the government, will that have an impact on the rating of that company? I mean, whoever it may be. Because, all the rating agencies, they would like to have another due diligence done to really redetermine what could be the revised rating for them. Is it a sin to go in for a moratorium?
It's not a sin. Actually, if you see the RBI circular very carefully, it says that the banks, while reporting this data, will exclude this moratorium period in reporting, and rating agencies have also been sensitized. Rating agencies and Credit Information Bureau have also been sensitized that how this is to be handled, and especially the credit information companies, credit bureaus as we call them, like CIBIL or Equifax, they have also modified their databases like this. So it is an industry-wide phenomenon. 50% of our, more than 50% of our direct finance customers have taken this benefit. It's not a stigma as such.
And basically, if you see, the ratings are practically of three types. One is by the agencies like CRISIL, CARE, ICRA and all, who rate the entrepreneurs on a variety of parameters. Repayment record is a separate matter, but they would also look at the industry, the potential risks coming up in the sector, the unit's own financials. So they might upgrade or downgrade an enterprise based on these parameters. But there are two more kinds of ratings. One is done by the credit bureaus, which are basically the CIBIL scores or CMR scores. They take into account the repayment behavior, and on account of moratorium, the repayment behavior, as Mr. Malhotra pointed out, would not be taken as bad because moratorium has been granted to them. So they will stand out still as a viable enterprise, as a good enterprise, and their rating would not be affected. The third kind of rating is done by the financial institution itself. For example, we internally have our own rating systems, and there again, this moratorium, which is not a stigma, would not impact the rating much. Only their sales parameters, their turnover, their financials, those things will impact them. But moratorium will certainly not impact them.
I have some 2 points, sorry. When it comes to MSMEs, I have a very strong feeling that, they don't seem to have the right expertise on financial management within their organization. I think there has to be some sort of a shared service kind of a wing within SIDBI who will be able to lend the services on financially managing the MSMEs, so that they need not really worry after really committing, and they can also be taught on the compliance issues on those things. Probably that will really help in seeing that MSME is able to heave a sigh of relief. What do you say about it?
Okay, so one is the promotion and development finance vertical in SIDBI, which is the development wing of our MSME focus. And this vertical supports a lot of programs organized through industry bodies, through other associations, and through various institutes and organizations, which try to fill the knowledge gap. And the kind of services you're talking about fall in this category, where various institutes and organizations take help of SIDBI's sponsorship by way of grant money to organize programs which help the MSMEs increase their knowledge and understanding on financial matters. It's a very, very rightly pointed out problem by Mr. Subramanian, that MSMEs lack the knowledge of financial management and skills, mostly because the entrepreneur himself runs from pillar to post for arranging raw material, for power connection, for complying with various government guidelines. So he is not able to fulfill his requirements towards the unit in such a manner as other large enterprises could do. One experiment we had done earlier sometime in around 2013-14, where shared CFO services were provided. I don't remember which branch this proposal was, but this concept was very close to what you have in mind, your innovative idea. This concept was close to that. And through that mechanism, some MSMEs were helped in sharing the expertise of a CFO who was hired by SIDBI for this program.
Thank you. And one more thing is that, when it comes to, there is so much of concession given to MSMEs. There are chances that even those owners of those MSMEs may be basically very well affluent people who might have taken the route of MSME to avail the concessions. And probably there has to be some sort of a proper due diligence on the owners to be in place to see that they don't misuse the free scheme that is being handed over by the government. Don't you feel so?
So wherever the concessions are given or wherever subsidy schemes are given, they are normally accompanied by very, very rigorous protocols of monitoring and monitoring not only at particular that point of time, but subsequently also. All of you must be familiar with the credit linked capital subsidy scheme. So that scheme, the bank has to verify, then documents have to be uploaded on the portal. And even if when you get the subsidy, it is not immediately released to you. Actually, it is kept in a zero interest bearing. Your loan is reduced and the subsidy is kept in a zero interest bearing loan account, and it is released to you 3 years hence only. Earlier, what used to happen that I have set up a unit for taking subsidy, and as soon as the subsidy comes, I shut shop and then I float another this thing. That is not possible now. Even people in this seminar are not from textile industry, but textile industry, you must be knowing that government has a scheme called TUFS, Textile Upgradation Fund Scheme. There also, wherever it happens, there are tripartite inspection protocols, Government of India, bank, and their industry association, and even machine numbers are also noted there. So that it should not happen that a machine which is financed here, next day it is taken to the next shed and then it is financed. So I think times have changed a lot, and there is a lot of monitoring and there is a lot of ensuring that the benefits go to the right people or the right persons.
Yes, thanks a lot. Yeah, so I think we'll have to close the session. It's already 5:34. So, but it has been a very, very engrossing session, and I'm sure there are thousands of more questions, and we will certainly put those questions forward to you, both of you, sirs, and we will engage with you as an association. We will engage with SIDBI more and understand how we can together maybe develop a business model or the suggestions what we can take from the industry and implement together. So I formally announce the closure of this session, and I must thank Mr. Vivek Malhotra and Mr. Anand Srivastava, who have specially come on a very short notice for this session. Thanks a lot, Mr. Vivek and Mr. Anand. It's been a very, very enriching session. SIDBI is doing a wonderful job in promoting the cause of MSMEs. I would like to thank our sponsors, SANI, India, Escorts, and our associate sponsors, ACE, Puzalona, Tata Capital, for providing us with these resources. And also, I would like to thank ICMA and the General Council members who have given approval for this session. I would also like to thank the participants, who have come in huge numbers and given their time and have taken time to actually understand about MSMEs and the government schemes for MSMEs, as well as the SIDBI's role in empowering the MSME. And I would also like to thank Seema and Paramita, who worked tirelessly to put the whole session up for all of us. And thanks a lot once again. And it's been a wonderful session. I think we will keep having these sessions with you, sirs, and we will certainly try to take the relationship to the next level between ICMA and SIDBI. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.